I use the apps, and first this is one of the apps I used, and I was focusing on recognizing the quantities and the numbers, and this is one of the apps that my children loved. And with this app, they would trace the numbers, and they had to stay in the lines, and this is one of their favorite apps, and they had to concentrate on staying and recognizing the numbers. And I think it skipped, it's already messed up, but it skipped some of the things, but I'm going to go on with it. Yeah, you control it for me. I can't get it to work. This is another one of the apps. This is a dinosaur math. And we tried this, and it had to get the numbers and stuff, but this was one of the apps that they did not work for the children. So we tried it, but it didn't work. Keep on going with that. This was one of the apps that we used, and it was Butterfly Math. This was one of the ones that they had to draw with their finger, which was they use, and they would pull the butterflies down and into the net, and then they would count for them. Each one of them counted, and it would pull it down, and it would say the number as it got the number. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm nervous, as you all can tell, and I'm not a public speaker, so it makes me even more nervous. Okay, this is another one of the apps, and this is Gracie and Friends. And this is another one of their favorite apps. And this, on the right right here with the birthday cafe, this is another one of their favorite apps. And you would quantity. And each one of the apps, you would take each number of the children, and you would have to draw it to the number on the table. And this was another one of their favorite. Okay, let's switch it for me. Okay, and the breakfast for Gracie and Friends. This was an app that I used, and they would have to divide the pie and then take it to the equally divided out. This was another app that the children loved. This is another one. This one helped the children, and this was another app that they liked. And each time that especially the boys, because it had like spiders and cars and stuff, and each time that it popped up, they had like the number of cars and stuff, and they would each touch each car, and it would count the number of cars and stuff there. And then at the bottom, it had the numbers, and they would have to, after they counted the numbers and stuff, they would find that number at the bottom. Okay, here are some of the kids playing with iPads. Just keep flipping it. Keep on. Okay, and with my grant, on the iPads I used the Teaching Strategy Goals, which is a program that we use. And with that, on the other, we'd split it into two groups. One we use the Teaching Strategy Goals, and this is the other group that I use, which is the traditional ways. And like we had a paper, and we would see if they could recognize the number, or they could use the quantity, which is like a puzzle that had the numbers, and then it had the group of numbers on the other side. Flip it. Okay, and at the end, with the Teaching Strategy Goal, like the beginning, I used what they knew at the beginning, and then at the end, which is two different time frames, and then on this one, it said that each child, from the beginning, they had grew. There was 6 children in this one. One was below the 50%, and then one was above 50%. So in this time frame, they averaged it out that with that, each child had grown 50% from that time frame using the iPads. And then on the next slide, with the traditional way that I used it without the iPads, that the children had grew around 20%. There was a few that was below, but the children had grew 20% without the iPads. Okay, but there was one thing that I had noticed, that with the children that did not use the iPads, that they did recognize the numbers more than the ones that did use the iPads. They recognized the numerals themselves. And then the ones that did use the iPads, they knew the quantity, but they didn't recognize the numbers. So my plan is that I plan to continue using the iPads in my classroom to enhance the learning experience with the kids, and they did love it. Thanks.